Here's the top Southern Maine coast towns you can afford based on your salary. Let's get into it. Let's start off with salaries under $100,000. Starting off with Alfred. Now, the median home price in Alfred, Maine is $325,000 as of this past January. Let's say you have a 20% down payment of $65,000, 30-year fixed mortgage, and a 7% interest rate. That is going to give you a monthly mortgage payment of roughly $1,873 per month. Now, taking into account that you shouldn't really be spending more than 28% of your gross monthly income on housing costs, you would need to be grossing roughly $80,271 per year to be able to afford the median home price in Alfred. Moving on to Sanford. The median home price in Sanford is $362,400. Let's say you put 20% down with $72,480, 30-year fixed mortgage with a 7% interest rate. That would be a mortgage payment of roughly $2,089 per month, meaning you would need to be bringing in $89,529 a year. Next, we have North Berwick. So the median home price in North Berwick is $399,900 with a 20% down payment of $79,980, a 30-year fixed mortgage, and a 7% interest rate. Your mortgage payment would be $2,305 a month, meaning you would need to be bringing in $98,786 a year. So I wanted to take a second and kind of explain a couple of different things about the towns we're talking about today. So Maine has 16 counties, but really 8 regions that people kind of talk about. So if you live in York County and you're trying to explain where that is to somebody who lives in the northern half of the state and they're like, oh my God, where is that? You could say, hey, I live on the southern coast. I live near kind of the Maine beaches. If you live in and around Portland, you could say I live in the greater Portland area. Same thing with people that say they live down east or mid-coast Maine. Now, we are the Living in Southern Maine channel, but we specifically focus on that southern coast region, more specifically those coastal towns. So I just wanted to clarify where exactly we were talking about and the towns that we're talking about today are actually located. Moving on to $100,000 to $150,000. So let's talk about South Berwick. The median home price in South Berwick is $439,000. with 20% down at $87,800, a 30-year fixed mortgage, and a 7% interest rate. Your monthly mortgage payment would be $2,530 a month. Taking into account that you shouldn't really be spending more than 28% of your gross monthly income on housing costs, you would need to be grossing $108,429 a year to be affording the median home in South Berwick, Maine. Next is Biddeford. So the median home price in Biddeford is $497,500. 20% down would be $99,500. 30-year fixed mortgage and a 7% interest rate would bring your monthly mortgage cost to $2,868 a month, roughly, meaning you would need to be bringing in $122,914 for the median home in Biddeford, Maine. Next is Arundel. So the median home price in Arundel would be $500,000. 20% down would be $100,000, and with a 30-year fixed mortgage, 7% interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment would be $2,882 a month, meaning you would need to be grossing $123,514 for the median home in Arundel. Next is Wells. So in Wells, the median home price is $505,000. A 20% down payment would be $101,000. 30-year fixed mortgage and a 7% interest rate would make your monthly mortgage cost $2,911 a month, so you would need to be bringing in $124,757 to be able to afford the median price in Wells. Next is Saco. So in Saco, the median home price is $532,000. A 20% down payment would be $106,400, and with a 30-year fixed mortgage and a 7% interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment would be $3,067 a month, meaning you would need to be grossing $131,443 roughly to afford the median home price in Saco. Next is Kittery. So the median home cost in Kittery is $549,900. A 20% down payment would be $109,980, and with a 30-year fixed mortgage and a 7% interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment would be $3,170 a month, meaning you would need to bring in $135,857 to be able to afford the median price in Kittery. Next is Lyman. So in Lyman, the median home cost is $550,000, and a 20% down payment would be $110,000. With a 30-year fixed mortgage, 7% interest rate, your monthly mortgage cost would be $3,170 a month, meaning you would need to be bringing in $135,857 a year to afford the median cost of Lyman. So let's move on to Old Orchard Beach. So the median home cost in Old Orchard is $579,000. A 20% down payment would be $115,800. A 30-year fixed mortgage, and with a 7% interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment would be roughly $3,337 a month, meaning you would need to be grossing $143,014 to be able to afford the median home cost in Old Orchard Beach. Next is Kennebunk. So the median home cost in Kennebunk is $599,000. 20% down would be $119,800, and with a 30-year fixed mortgage and a 7% interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment would be roughly $3,453 a month, meaning you would need to be grossing $147,986 roughly to be able to afford the median home cost in Kennebunk, Maine. If you're finding this video informative, please give us a like and subscribe below. And if you're buying or selling in the area, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send an email, or schedule a Zoom call. All of that information is down below, as well as our free relocation guide. If you're moving to the area, that's linked below as well. Now let's talk about salaries over $150,000. The first town is Elliott. The median home price in Elliott is $689,000 as of January, like I said earlier. If you have a 20% down payment, that would be $137,800. With a 30-year fixed mortgage and a 7% interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment would be $3,971 per month, roughly. And I want to keep reiterating that, generally speaking, a good rule of thumb is to spend 28% of your gross monthly income on housing costs. So we are taking that into account when we crunch these numbers. So with that said, in Elliott, you would need to be making or grossing $170,186 roughly to be affording the median home cost in Elliott, Maine. Next up is York. So in York, the median home cost is $989,000 with a 20% down payment of $197,800 and a 30-year fixed mortgage at 7%. Your monthly mortgage payment would be $5,701 per month, meaning you would need to be grossing $244,329 a year to be able to affording the median home cost in York. Next is Ogunquit. So the median home cost in Ogunquit is $1,200,000 with a 20% down payment of $240,000, 30-year fixed mortgage and a 7% interest rate. Your monthly mortgage payment would be roughly $6,917 a month, meaning you would need to be bringing in $296,443 a year to be able to afford that median home cost in Ogunquit. And lastly, we have Kennebunkport. So the median home cost in Kennebunkport is $1,700,000, and with a 20% down payment of $340,000 and a 30-year fixed mortgage at 7%, your monthly mortgage payment would be $9,799 a month, meaning you would need to be grossing $419,957 roughly to be able to afford that median home cost in Kennebunkport. I also wanted to point out that these calculations are taking into account some local and state taxes, so if you're crunching these numbers and they come out a little differently, that's probably why. These are also also rough estimates of what you would need to be making to be able to afford the median home cost as of January. Now, these numbers could change drastically weeks and months from now, so while this is valid now, a 7% interest rate hopefully won't be normal in a year from now, and we'll just have to remake this video and update you guys as time goes on. But right now, these numbers are from January of 24, so they are fairly accurate. Some people will argue if the average or the median home cost is better to go with. We chose to go with the median home cost just because we didn't want, those straggler $10 million homes in York or Kennebunkport affecting all of the other homes in the area. We felt this would give you the most accurate depiction. Again, these are numbers that you would need to be grossing. Obviously, your net income would need to be a little bit higher than the numbers that we were giving. And we did take into account the 28% rule, which is just where they say you shouldn't be spending more than 28% of your gross monthly income on your housing expenses. So I hope you found this video helpful. My name's Margaret, and if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send an email, schedule a Zoom call. All that information is down below, as well as our free relocation guide that is linked below as well. And we'll see you next time.